You are now listening to Being Unboxed with Renee Ambush, formerly with the Flex Radio and now with D.O.D Radio Network, Destiny Over Drama. Best self, best life, best radio. Say that.
Girl, I can't with you today. You got so many stories all the time. What's happening?
Listen, I have lived, sister girl, I have lived out in these streets.
I'm here
Stories
for it
is
though.
something I definitely have. I'm trying to tell you. So, listen, right? So, and you said that it takes a healing journey, right?
It
So,
does.
tell me, like, kind of describe what it's been like. What's your healing journey from being in a relationship and like now being single? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's your healing journey?
How much time you got?
Well, go ahead, shout.
Because my healing journey has been all over the place, like super willy-nilly. Like I've tried therapy a couple of times. Sometimes are better than others. Yeah, let's get into therapy. Let's do that. That's
Okay,
we'll
okay.
start with my healing journey. So, what I've noticed about myself is every time I went to therapy, I have treated it like I've treated my romantic relationships, which have been raggedy. So that explains how I've been doing. So the first time I went, I just was like non-existent. I'm just gonna sweep this under the rug. I'm gonna act like nothing is wrong. I'm not gonna do it. And I was working at this job where they only gave me 3 sessions for like the EAP program, and I was just like, okay,
That was
so how am I going to fit my 600-pound ratchet life into 3 sessions?
y'all. Listen, when
I
y'all see her, she is not 300 ratchet, no pounds. She is so pretty. So
no.
we're not even having that.
But
Okay.
that show, like, it gets me every time that 600-pound life. And that's how I felt. I felt like there was 600 pounds of weight on my shoulder. I was like, what is going on here? It was just too much.
But wait a minute,
So I was
can I just
talking.
say this? On 600-pound life, they be having a relationship though.
They all have men. All of them. All of them have a boo. And I'm like, what am I doing wrong? What's happening? I don't get it. Bruh. Okay. So I tried to go to therapy. They told me I was only gonna have 3 sessions. I was like, this is not gonna work. So I just kind of avoided it, excuse me, because I was like, either this is not gonna work, 3 sessions is not gonna be enough time for me to heal, or it is gonna work, but she's gonna leave me and I'm gonna feel rejected and abandoned like I do in all of my other relationships. So I'm not
Ooh,
gonna do
that's
it.
deep. Okay, okay.
Absolutely not. So I decided to do Culture's Way, which says a way to get over an old man is to get up under a new one. That does not work.
We're not,
I'm telling
ladies, don't use that method. She just
it does
told
not
y'all
work.
that
I've
don't work.
tried it. Okay.
That don't work.
Ladies, don't do it. It's the stupidest thing ever. Don't do that. Learn from me because it was dumb. So
Mm-hmm.
that didn't work. So then my second time around, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try therapy again. God was on my neck telling me that I should write a book. And I'm like, oh, I don't really want people in my business like that. I don't really want to do all that. He said, write the book. I wrote it, but I didn't associate it with being me.
Ooh, come on. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So when I read books, when I get text messages, when I hear stories, I see it in movies. So the
Mm-hmm.
whole time I'm yelling at the screen at this girl, not realizing it's me. I'm like, sis, don't go in there. He married. He got a girlfriend. He got a baby on the way. You dumb. Like I'm yelling, throwing popcorn at the screen, all this stuff. And I just didn't realize that it was me. So when I went to therapy, and since I was a people pleaser, I would be in therapy pretending like I was somebody else.
Mm.
So I
Mm.
couldn't really get my healing because I wasn't telling her the truth. I'm in there telling her plots from different movies. I'm like, girl, because I went
Not
to
plus.
no, seriously. This one, okay, my one therapist, I was like, I was at the nightclub and this dude tried to holler at me and then he chased me all around the city trying to get with me. And then we finally messed around. And do you know he went back to his childhood girlfriend? And I'm like, sis, that is the plot from Thin Line Between Love and Hate. Stop playing in this lady's face. Stop doing that. Like I was nuts. I will always try to make them laugh. I will always try to just bring in different stories from other people because I
Mm-hmm.
was afraid to really feel my feelings.
Okay. Okay.
And now that leads me to you, where you tell me to feel my feelings and do the
Oh
positive
wait, the
affirmations. And I was
audience
like,
don't
ah,
know. Wait, the audience don't know. My listening audience don't know. What you mean you led to me? You gotta give them a little bit more. What, I mean, because we're just doing this interview. They don't know the behind the story. So
okay.
good for
So
me.
I met Renee. We were doing community service together at this church. And after the community service, we just kind of started talking. And I don't know how I got to telling her my story because, y'all, I don't really open up to people for real. Like, I am standoffish. I don't do all of that kiki. Like, I'm not, when you first meet me, I'm not
Yeah.
that friendly. I'm just kind of like, no, enough of that. Like, we can't, no, mean girl. On Wednesdays, we wear pink. Like, that's what I'm usually like.
I cannot.
So I don't know how Renee got me. It's that therapy, counseling, strategic stuff that she got. She can just, the gift of gab, she got me to talking to her. And she's like, I think I can help you. And I'm like, all right, we'll see. And then I'm still here. That was what, 2 years ago? Was that 2 years
Was,
ago?
I think, about a year and a half
A
ago.
year and a half.
And
Yeah, so
let
that
me
was a
tell you
while.
guys, she ain't never lied. Okay. When we first started, and of course, HIPAA, I ain't putting my sis out because I love her just
Thank
tremendously
you.
to
Thank
life.
you, sis.
But I tell you, one of the things that I do in therapy is I'm really big, especially if that person presents this. I'm really big on affirmations. So we start sessions and we go to affirmations. And I know that Kay probably came to at least about 6 or 7 sessions. I mean, it was some ones, and literally by the time we got to about the 6 or 7 sessions, she was like, "Listen, don't start talking about no affirmations." I was like, "Okay, so how you doing today?" She was like, "We're not doing the affirmations today." I was like, "Okay." And then I
Horrible.
did that, Kay. I don't know. And I tell you this all the time, and I mean it with every sincere fiber in my body. I am so proud of her
Thank
because
you.
one day, now I tell this story, but I never use her name, of course, but I say this to other people that I do strategic coaching and impartation strategy with. I never say your name, girl. I never say your name.
Okay.
But I always say I had this one person we would have session, and I was like, one day she actually started talking about her feelings, and I said I started laughing. Do you remember? And you was
I do.
like, "What's funny?"
What we doing? Because why are you laughing at me? I'm pouring my heart out and you laughing in my
Oh,
face.
I was so excited because y'all, she came in with, "I don't have feelings. I don't care about this. I don't feel about that." And it's just like, listen, she said exactly what she said. "I'm standoffish. I don't do all that. I don't need all that." So the first time we had breakthrough in session, and she was like, "Okay, look, I got all these feelings." I was like, "Oh."
Girl, I was shocked too. Smooth shot.
Yes. So really, honestly, and not to in my own horn, honestly, I just really love what I do and I love people. But would you say, honestly, like you said, what that was a part of your healing journey that got you over to the next thing?
Yes, so it's a couple of things. I
Hmm.
think, like I told you before, the way that I approached therapy was the way that I approached my romantic relationships. Right
Hmm.
now, I'm not in a romantic relationship with anybody except for myself. I'm
I love
learning to love myself. So,
say
therapy is a little bit easier because I'm actually giving myself grace and learning different things about myself. Whereas
that.
before, I was always trying to be a people pleaser, I was always pushing myself to the side. Now I'm like, okay, this is me. What we gonna do with me? So
Yeah.
it's easier for me to listen to you. Now I gave you the blues the first couple of sessions because I was like, if
Ooh,
she
y'all.
say it one more time. But honestly though, Renee, I didn't love myself and I didn't have anything positive to say about myself. So when you're like, speak positive affirmation. I'm like, well, sis, what I'm gonna say? Like, I don't like write it down and tell me. I was like, give me my list of what I'm supposed to do this week,
Y'all.
and I'll
She
just do
did.
the
She was
list.
like,
Like, you
"Listen, I
try to
didn't
do
come here
too
for all that."
much.
She was like, "I didn't come here for all that. I want 1, 2, 3. What is my steps? I want the."
Give it to
I
me.
was like, "This is not AA. We is not getting 12 steps to recovery."
I needed my steps. You weren't giving them to me. You made me do the work, and I'm grateful. I wasn't at first, but I'm grateful now.
So proud of you, girl. So listen, all
Thank
right.
you.
So listen, okay. So we're not dating and everything, and I get that, but tell us like what are some of the unacceptable places to like shoot your shot? Like, is church a place to shoot your shot? And how do you shoot a shot? How about that?
Oh, ooh. Now you're in my business. You in my business now. Okay, so that's a loaded question. I don't shoot my shot no more because I used to shoot my shot when I was off of that brown liquor. I don't do brown liquor no more, so I don't shoot my shot. But it was ratchet the way. You know what? Guys are so easy, especially when they don't have good self-esteem either.
Oh,
All you gotta do is be like ratchet, half naked, vulgar, and you got them. And that's what I would do. And I am ashamed and I don't do that anymore. So I don't shoot my shot. I will give you an alley oop though. Like if you cute and you talking right, I might. tip it in for you a little bit, but I'm not gonna go up to you and shoot my shot. I'm not doing that.
So wait, so you said it's wait, so is church a place for someone to
Okay.
kind of open up or kind of let them know that you like them and stuff?
So church is cool, but you have to do it before or after the service. Like
Are
if
you gonna
I'm
turn to your neighbor and then be all
when
okay?
I tell you I can't stand to turn to your neighbor, like I don't want to talk to you. I came here to talk to God, but that's not right. That's not right. Don't do me. It's okay. No, you can. I'll smile during that time though. If we have to turn and say whatever, I'll say it and I'll smile. But when I go to church, I'm there to get mine. I can't really be doing what you doing over there. Like so, before church, after, uh, Bible study, like right before Bible study, that type of stuff. But like in the middle, when I'm crying my face off, don't try to talk to me about going nowhere and doing nothing. Like
Yeah,
I
but that's
can't
a
do
vulnerable
this.
place, though. That's a very vulnerable place because,
It
like
is.
you said, like they're seeing you in an element where you're presenting yourself, before God. So it's a
Mm-hmm.
vulnerable place. Now, as far as shooting a shot, I don't know, but I would be wise because that person is now seeing me in my most open, vulnerable spiritual
Yeah.
state. So, you know what I mean?
True. True. True.
That can be a good thing because then that person now knows, wait, they have a relationship with God, and it looks like it's kind of close, so I better not try to interfere or come between that. So that may be a good place. I mean, unless they show enough giving you a pickup line like shorty, you is all that. I'm like, well, not in the church house. Can we?
Yeah,
I mean,
not
you
in front of
can
my
give you
father. Like, what are
you
we
know.
doing?
So, like, if you're gonna be tripping in front of my heavenly Father, what would you do in front of my physical Father? So I don't know. I don't know
Nonsense.
about that
Yeah.
one though. So yeah.
So
So
church is cool,
mhm,
but I think like unacceptable places, like for me, I really don't like being uncomfortable. And
okay.
I've been in a lot of situations when there's not like a lot of people around where it's just me and like a dude. I feel
Mhm.
kind of uncomfortable because I feel like if I'm not feeling you and I'm just there by myself, like what you about to do? Like, so an example would be like I move a lot. Like I used to be outside and I don't really I don't really do closure for real. I might do it, going forward as we work through some stuff. But I just never really been a fan of closure. Like you don't like me, I don't really like you. We just gonna stop talking and that's it. Dudes pull up on me. So I move a lot. So you don't know where I live. You can't pull up on me if you don't know where I'm at. And I didn't have a whole bunch of money. So I would always get like, the little signs off the side of the road, like 2 men in a truck, or we'll move you for $50 or whatever. And every single time the dudes will be in there trying to talk to me, and I felt so uncomfortable because it's just me by myself. Like, please don't talk to me, but I gotta be nice to you because you're handling my stuff.
Absolutely. So let me give you a story because you talk about all my daggone.
Yes, stories.
So I moved into a place once, and like you said, fellas come on to me,
Mm-hmm.
and again, I'm very amicable. I'm very nice, or whatever the case may be. I make sure I don't give them any reason to think that I'm trying to holler back, though, especially if
Right.
I'm not. But it was really odd, like you said, moving into a place, and I would have the maintenance people come. And it was like, we're your man. Do you live with somebody? Are you with? And that made me real cray cray because I'm like, wait a minute, like you have
Mm-hmm.
access to my
The key
apartment.
of my
So
house.
that's right. So funny story, y'all. Funny story. So I went out and bought some men's shoes. I still had some of my ex clothes. And so every time my new maintenance had to come, I put them shoes at the door. I put the
Mm-hmm.
clothes all over the little whatever. So don't ask me no questions about my man, okay?
That's
Because
smart. That's smart, Renee.
but that's yeah. So I'm like, ladies, listen. They don't need to know the whole. If you need to go and get yourself a couple pair of shoes and go to the thrift store, don't pay too much money, but make sure they look good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And some little men's slippers or something. Shucks, get some men cologne, spray it when you know they coming or whatever. But I really hear what you're saying, sis. That can be a very uncomfortable thing. We did a show called Pretty Privilege. And that's a part of that. And you are a very attractive young lady. And I know that
Yes, for
sometimes
you.
it pulls people, and you like, look, I'm not even in my state of being of maybe desiring a relationship. Yo, don't talk to me right now. I'm focused
Mhm.
on something. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but what is shooting a shot though? Like, what is shooting a shot? What does that look like? What's that?
So that's saying, hey, I think you need to come over here and be with me. I got
Oh
something
yeah,
over here that you might like. That's what it's saying. It's you are presenting yourself to somebody like, hey, we need to be in each other's life. I like what I see. I'm pretty sure that you might like what you see over here. I'm shooting my shot.
girl. Listen. You know, I told you the stories. I remember now we talking about church and we're gonna move on. But I
Okay.
remember when I was
And I
just
got a story too after you.
you better bring it because it's unboxed. Right. So when I was back in the day, going to choir rehearsal at church at 7 o'clock on Thursdays. Yeah, I'm telling the whole story. There was this one club called Volcanoes. And
Okay.
so, I was trying to hurry up at a choir rehearsal because I needed to get the volcano. I had to change to get the
Mhm.
volcanoes, right? But I was trying to holler at the choir director. I was shooting my shot in church. Right now, I'm
Okay.
dating myself, but it is what it is. A sister gave him a dime, right? Don't laugh, y'all. I'm like, here's my number and a dime. Call me anytime. Call me if you need someone to talk to. And he called, and we got married, but it didn't last that long. True story. True story. Yes.
Remember
Yes.
how I said I see things in movies?
Oh, right. And let me tell you something, baby. I was the lit. Okay. And I was like, yes.
Oh.
Okay. Stu's choir rehearsal. Couldn't wait for it to be over. Had my dime ready in my pocket. I couldn't wait until choir rehearsal was over for me to slip him that number. And like I said, sure enough, we got married August 31st. We was over by Thanksgiving. I had packed this stuff and put it outside, and we was officially divorced within the next year. So that part. Mhm.
Oh.
But I love my son. I love my son.
Okay. Okay. Good. Good. That comes from it.
All things work good.
Wow. Yo, and I can see you singing it too, because you always got a song in your spirit.
Oh,
I know you sang
I
that to that
did.
man.
Sure did.
Wow. Okay. Well, mine is not as lengthy or bad as that. But one time, I just feel like there's inappropriate times when you shoot your shot, and then there's inappropriate people. Like, Atlanta is not a real place. And one time, this homeless dude
Oh,
tried to holler at me, and I
girl,
was like,
high self-esteem. You better go here, homeless guy. Hope you
no,
listen.
don't hype him up because his priorities were not straight. And that's what I told him. I was like, sir, I want to be a housewife, and I feel like you don't have the prerequisites. I just really need you to rework a few things. And he was just like, I'm saying though. And I was like,
Oh
mm,
no. Oh no.
no, no, don't do that.
Oh,
So yeah.
so okay, so look, then that leads me here then, sis. What's deal breakers in relationships for you? Like what or for people who are single, what do you think deal breakers should be? What's a deal breaker?
Okay, so deal breakers should be focusing only on like the physical part and not necessarily the mental. I used to have a long list of, oh, he got to be this and this and this and that. Not one good characteristic on there at all. And I got everything that I want, and I got the heartache that went along with it too.
Okay.
So I'm like,
Woo.
I need somebody else to write my list. Let me kind of like proofread it and then go on about your day, because clearly I don't know how to do this.
Okay.
I will also say, like, one thing that I've learned, especially in my healing journey and then throughout writing my book, you don't want somebody that's a people pleaser, somebody that does not know themselves, and somebody that does not love themselves.
Mm-hmm.
That is probably the most important thing. And also someone that does not, like, for me, someone that's not connected to God, because I'm telling you, I'm a lot. You gonna need God if you're gonna deal with me. I'm telling you right now, you gonna need somebody else to kind of help you navigate this ride, because it's not the way it's supposed to be all the
You
time. I'm
know,
telling you.
you say you're doing something, and I don't even think you know that you're doing it. Men, especially men that have some emotional maturity, you are everything to them because you're truthful. You know what I'm saying? Like you're open, and that's so rare for men to get sometimes. It's
Mhm.
like you said, like, look, I already know where I'm at. I know who I am. And they're like, oh, wow. You know what I'm saying? Like it kind of helps me with half the battle. So then they're like they're experiencing that person or whatever. But
Mhm.
that you are aware of yourself. And I think that we should hear that men and women, we should understand that when we bring and show up as our authentic self, telling us,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? Just like, look, I know, I already know. And they're like, what? And then you get to experience that. You're like, it really makes you respect that person all the more because they told you up front. They respected and liked you enough to tell you right up front what that is. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
that's you. I don't even know if you know that you're doing that.
I
But there's some
girl.
women like, ooh, sister, hey Kay.
You know what? I've ran from me for so long. Now I'm running into me. So this is what I get. I mean,
Yeah.
this is what you get when you get me. Like I can't do the people pleasing. I can't pretend to be anybody else anymore. Like you have to get the real me. And I think that's why a lot of relationships don't last because people show up as who they think you want them to be, and then when they start being the real person, you like, now wait a minute, who
Mm-hmm.
what are we doing? This is unfamiliar. I can't I can't do that.
Me being doing therapeutic services and being a therapist, like I don't know, I think I invited red flags. Me being creative, I took red flags and made outfits. You know what I'm saying? I was just like,
That
instead of being,
part.
yeah, I should look at that. No, I was like, well, I understand that. And, psychologically, I see where that is. And, I literally internally was putting them on my sofa and to the point where I got tired of being my men's therapist indirectly and was just like,
Mhm.
no, no, no. So that healing journey, like you said, I love what you just said. That's a say that moment. When you keep running, start running into yourself. I like that. That's
Yeah.
some good stuff, girl. Okay, so listen, listen, listen. You are so funny. So we're gonna talk about some grace and some disgrace, right?
Okay.
So, what's something in that you've done in your past that you need to give yourself grace for? Because when we don't do that, like you said, it 100% turn into disgrace, and it's disgrace, and it's hard for us to kind of get past that, to find that relationship that really can be productive and work for us. So,
Mhm.
give me one of your 8 million stories in the Nick Get City.
Um. So I'm in the process. Okay. Woo woo woo. We not gonna do that. I feel it coming, but I'm not gonna let it get me.
Okay,
I am in the process of recording my audiobook.
I'm so happy, y'all. Yes, y'all
Yes,
just don't know. Y'all don't know. Listen, she will give you her YouTube at the end because
I
I want
will.
everybody to go check that YouTube out. I want y'all to see her. I want y'all to see how authentic, how pretty, and how funny this child is when it comes to talking about relationships. I was like, you have to see the promo. It's like her plus not being healed plus equal. I'm not going to redo her thing, but when it was hilarious. So, all right, sis, tell him, talk to him,
Thank
girl, talk
you.
to him.
Just everything in the book I need to give myself grace for real. I really want to narrow it down to like one or two things,
Mhm.
but there's just so many things where I'm like, did you really do that? Did you, and like you said, you made the outfits out of the red flags. Like I made them red carpets. I'm like, here we go. We sashaying. Yes. Come on. Like, let's do all of the things. And it's just like, no, don't do that. Um, I would, this is kind of heavy, and I
Mhm.
don't know how your audience is going to take this,
Baby,
but I
this
have to.
y'all, she don't know, do she? This
Okay.
is being unboxed. That's what this we have the conversation, baby. We put it out there because somebody needs to hear that story. So as comfortable as you are, you bring it because honestly, you know the word that people are won over by the words of our testimony. So somebody
Mhm.
needs that testimony so he or she doesn't feel alone and just be like, oh, I thought it was only me. No, baby, be unboxed.
Okay. Well, let's get into it then. Especially in this like political climate and all this stuff that was going on. About 20 years ago, I had an abortion, and I just read that chapter of my book. And when I tell
Wow.
you it tore me up because number one, like you said, or when I was talking to you about my healing journey, therapy, I avoided a lot of stuff. I disassociated myself from
Mhm.
things. So that's something that I had completely forgot about, completely disassociated myself from. So to read it and then to relive some of the stuff that I didn't even put in the book, like the separate conversations that I had with the child's father and,
Mhm.
all the lying that I had to do to get the money and just all of these different things. I really was like, okay, at some point in your journey, somebody's going to ask you about this, and you can't break down because they might be facing a decision.
Mhm.
They might have gone through something similar when they were young and didn't know what to do and felt like that was their only choice.
Mhm.
And you're going to have to be able to be strong for them. You can't be snotty and all this stuff and crying on their shoulder when they coming to you. So
Mhm.
that's really something that it's just like, whew, it's a lot, but I have to give myself grace for everything that I did in the past, and I have to commend myself for moving past and doing different things now. I have to, because if I stay there, I'm going to repeat the same cycle over and over again.
Then that's the word, like you said, because we're talking about being single. And you're absolutely right. What you just said, when people don't forgive themselves and they don't give their time themselves time to heal, they repeat the same cycle and they wonder why they either keep getting the same man, the same type of man, find themselves in the same environment or the same situations or the same relationships. It's because the very thing that they may be looking for somebody else to give them is something that they haven't given themselves. And
Right.
that's that grace. Like we all the ooh, I ain't I got stories. I'm not. We all have done. Yeah, I think I'm going to say this story. We all have done some crazy things that we just like. Are we so serious? So, like I said, it's unboxed. I remember you said, let me see, about 20 years ago. It had to be. Was it 2020? Wait, I'm a little older than you, but it was a while back. And me and my homegirl went to the Bahamas, and that was like my third time in the Bahamas. But this was
Okay.
another person. And the
Mhm.
first time I went to the Bahamas, I had met this guy, and I was all like, "Oh no, you might be Dexter St. Jock, and I'm not coming over here and be messing with men that I don't know." Da, 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 da. And then when I woke up and getting the sand out my butt, that's a
I would
whole
say he got you.
the water
I've been there before too,
was
sis.
clear. I was like, right. So we wound up having our own little relationship. I mean, carried it on, right? And I was like, oh my goodness. So I winded up going back to the Bahamas. Oh, trip on him. He was like, "Look, you and your friend, just a friend of yours, you can come on over. I'll pay for the trip and I'll put y'all up and everything." And I was like, "Okay." So we go over to the Bahamas, and the first night, we went out and everything, and then the next night, he was supposed to come back and see me, but I had seen this other guy that I had liked when I was there the last time, and so I winded up going back to his place. I was thinking. I wanted to go back to his place. And so we at his place and everything, one thing led to another and another to another to another and another. But we led to some things. And then afterward it was real crazy because then I went in his medicine cabinet because I was like, I hope he don't have nothing. So I looked through the medicine cabinet to make sure, he was good. I ain't seen nothing to say that he had nothing or whatever. But he said, I will be back in the morning. I mean, I'll be back because I got to go to work. So when I come back home, honey, baby, I don't know you. I just, spent the night with you. I don't know you, right? And so what was so funny was that was back in the day before like cell phones was big and all that stuff. And I'm in Nassau, Bahamas. My homegirl is in the hotel. She hasn't seen me all night or whatever. So I'm gonna try to wrap this story up. Long story short, I get back to the hotel. I walked. Listen, God was with me because I didn't even know no sense of direction or anything like that. But I made it back to the hotel. Get back to the hotel. Long story short, he comes banging on the door and everything. And I forgot to tell you how I got out because he lived in a gated community. And I told the person, I knocked on somebody's door and was like, I'm getting ready to go get breakfast for us. Can you let me out the gate? He was like, oh, you was the lady who was with. I said, yeah. So I got out the gate. I walked to the hotel. He comes banging on the door, y'all. And I'm hiding under dirty towels in the tub because he's searching for me. She told me that she loved me. She was going to take me back to the States. And boy, I probably have told you anything. I mean, it was what it was. I probably told you I could have took you to the moon. I probably did, but that's a whole other story. But I was like, no. And the thing about it is, like you said, that whole story, y'all, was to say that those were things that I held to be ashamed that I went to another part of the country or whatever the case may be, or whatever, the States. And I was with people I didn't know. And I was like, it made me look at myself in a certain way. And I was just like, wait, I've got to stop seeing me from that way. I've got to give myself grace. That was the choice that I made then. That's not the choice that I'm making now. So
Right.
I love that part. I love you saying that it's like, no, give yourself grace for the things that could have utterly took you out if you keep rehearsing them in your mind, which takes me back to the affirmations. But yeah, I'm gonna take it to y'all.
I'm not doing this with you, Renee. I'm not. I knew you was gonna sneak those back in. I knew you was gonna do it.
I'm not gonna go back to the affirmations, y'all, because she's gonna get me. So so let me ask you a question. And so what give me a story that you would do over and that if you looking back on it, the wisdom that you have now, what would you do over? Like, you said you spoke about the abortion one, but what's a story or a relationship that you were in and the things that you see now through your journey of healing, you're like, look, I would do stuff completely different.
You know what? Like, Honestly, there just the whole thing. The whole thing would be redone. Like the people who I used to talk to and the people that I used to do everything with would not even be able to get close to me during this
Wow.
time. Like I really look like I there was no standards. There was no type of anything. It was just like, "Oh, you meet me, you think I'm cute, I'm at your house." Why was I doing that? I
Yeah.
didn't know these people. They
Yeah.
could have
Girl, I
really
should have took
like
you to the Bahamas with me.
but, ma'am, no. You know what? I did. So, another story. Now you're making me like you with these stories, and I don't know how I feel about
That's
it.
a part of healing.
No, I went to the Bahamas with this girl in high school, and we didn't even know each other that well. But she was the one that was wilding out, and I was mad because now I had to be the responsible one because we both couldn't be out there wilding. But I wanted to wild out too. But she was at these different places and ducking off with me, and so I had to be the one like, sis, we gotta go. We don't
Mhm.
know these people. They can probably hurt us. Blah 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 blah. But no, I've had I won't say one night stand. I've been trying to make it better, like, oh, it was a 5 night stand. But sis, it's still the same thing. It's the
You know what? Not
same
not the 5
thing.
nights
Cause
though.
I tried to give myself grace for that. Like, you didn't do the one night, you waited 5. Ma'am, you're still crazy. And you could have lost your life and you're just dumb. Don't do that anymore.
Ooh, I like
Um,
that. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, go
just the
ahead.
way that I dated, I would not do that the way. And the reason why I dated the way that I dated and what I've been learning is that self-esteem sets
Ooh.
the pace for everything.
Somebody hear that.
Every
Okay. Uh-huh.
single thing.
Mhm.
My self-esteem was down low, twirling in the toilet. So it was
Mhm.
easy for people to talk to me because I didn't know who I was. I didn't value myself. I just didn't care about anything. So all you had to do was smile and tell me I was pretty because I wasn't
Ooh.
doing the positive affirmations and I wasn't telling myself that.
Mhm.
So if you were feeling that void that I thought that I had, you was in
Mhm.
there. It was easy to bag me. And I hate saying that. I absolutely hate it, but it was my truth. That's what it was. Now you better come with something else. You absolutely better come with something else because you can't even get around me with just saying, "Oh, you're pretty." I'm gonna say, "Thank you. You have good taste."
And that
Period.
one, y'all. I try to tell you. I can't. I can't. You're
Period. Because what are we
absolutely right.
talking about?
You're absolutely right. And again, like you said, through that healing journey and stuff like that, and start seeing you a different way, it helped you to also see others a different way. And like you said,
Mhm.
not allowing them, like really giving yourself some boundaries and not allowing them to step into your space because now you've created a space for yourself that
Yeah.
you're like, no, I'm not letting anything penetrate it. Even on my lowest days, even on my days where I might even want to be with somebody, I'm
Mhm.
not going to lower my step. Do you remember that commercial? Lower expectations. It was like a dating thing that was a comedy, and it was like, but with any rate, at any rate, it's like, no, I'm not going to do that. And like you said, for those people that you had encountered back then, there for you. And as I hear you speaking, and I hope people are hearing what you're saying, your vulnerability, your truth, your transparency, because that's what's needed to really have a good relationship. And the fact of the matter is, like you said, everybody's trying to do this whole Nelly spin the block, but everybody's not Ashanti.
They're
Okay.
not.
And so when you have, like you said, done this healing journey and you're looking at yourself different and you're giving yourself grace, because these are strategies, these are things
Mhm.
people need to hear on how to be single. What do I do when I be single? Like Kay just told you, give yourself grace. Allow
Mhm.
yourself this healing journey. Put up some structures. Hate Renee affirmations, but but do them, and it allows your journey of singleness not to be so complex, not to put you in a place of slipping again, not putting you in a place where you'll just accept or settle something because now you are a completely 100% different person. So,
And yeah.
and saying that, because those were some good K nuggets. Those were some good K nuggets. So, like, what would you like? What advice would you give to somebody who finds herself like dating the same man over and over? She's getting the same results, like years in and out. She keep dating this same type of guy. What advice would you give her or him? What advice would you give?
So first, I would say thank you for seeing me because I did the exact same thing. I feel so seen by you, sis. If you are dating the same man and a different pair of Jordans, that was me. That was me all the time. Um, it takes a little bit of time because you have to identify what your patterns are, and you have to look inside and say, what void am I trying to fill?
Mhm.
Like, what is it? Because that's what you're looking for. You're finding somebody that temporarily fills the void that you think that you have, and you keep filling it with the same thing, and you're getting the same results. I actually wrote, excuse me, a workbook about it,
I love
that
it.
kind of helps you go through it. So it kind of analyzes your dating patterns. It analyzes, excuse me, why do you date the way that you date? Do you have mommy issues, daddy issues, childhood trauma? Are you comparing yourself to what they're putting on social media? Is that what you think that relationships are supposed to
Mhm.
be? It's full of different tips and activities for you to actually write stuff down and just kind of hone in on you and say, what am I doing and why do I keep doing this? Because there's a pattern there. There's a void there that you're trying to fill. It's just up to you to do the work to figure out what it is.
I love that. And so is this a part of your ebook? Is this a different book? Like
It's
what
a
is
different book. It's called Not Him Again, because that's what I would say
Oh,
to myself all the time. Not how did I end up with him again?
yeah.
How? It's a different one. So my actual book is called Same Dude, Different Day, which is along the same pattern because it was a different day, it was the same type of man. And then the second one is actually the workbook where you sit down. The first one is my
Ooh.
story and everything that I've been through. But
Mhm.
Not Him Again is your story. You write down what's going on with you. You reflect about the things that you've done in the past in the different relationships and why you keep ended up in the same thing. And give yourself grace and forgive, but also move past it.
Absolutely. Oh my
Mhm.
goodness, sis. I didn't even know that. Like you keep just astounding me with every little step. I'm just trying to tell you, I just went through
Yes.
addition with every little step you take. I'll be there with you every little step you take. I'm telling you, because that's some good stuff. And see, when you come to being unboxed, there we talk about the problems because they're out there. But
Yeah.
it's about providing solutions, providing strategies. And baby, you hit them in the head with a whole bunch of them, right? And then you told them about dropping the book. And I don't want to go past that too far though. I want you to be able to at least even right now let people know how they can grab that book. Like when is it dropping, how they can get it, what's your YouTube, because they need to get in touch with you. And they need to feel like when I said this, they need to deal with KayMonet. It's that name. It's that name.
It's it's you for me, Renee. So everything I need right now, or everything that you need right now, is on youtube.com/ at KMonet. My audiobook will be on there starting this Friday. And the book that I was telling you about, the workbook, the Not Him Again, that's already on my website. And the links to all of that is on my YouTube. So my social media, my web page, the links to all of my books are underneath all of the things under YouTube. So go
Mhm.
to YouTube, subscribe, like, share, comment, look at all of the links and get what you need.
Absolutely. And I love that. And I love the title as well. Not him again. Because baby, I did that. I went with see the crazy thing about it is I thought I was the one that I told you I said here's my number and a dime. He was, brought up in church and
Me
didn't
too.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't all the and I was like, oh, I'm changing from the thug dude, right? And
Mm,
I want somebody to hear this. I'm like, I'm changing from the thug dude and I'm getting the church dude. And literally, because I still wasn't healed, I was getting the same dude.
the
I was
same
just
one.
getting a different complexion, a different height, and a different arena from the church and not the club or whatever. You know what I mean? But I still got an emotionally detached man who
Yeah.
still had so much maturing and emotional growth to do themselves. But I found myself mothering them because that's what I was missing, right?
Yeah.
I gave them the nurture that I kind of, how we hear that when we hear people say, oh, you give what you want to receive. Well, that's not always true because sometimes you give it to the wrong person and then you don't get that back. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
tell people all the time when I hear people saying, I was trying to be nice to you. I was trying. I was like, don't try to be. Either you are or you're not. And
Right.
love doesn't require you to be nice, but it requires you to be kind. And
Mm,
kindness requires you to be wise. So
yeah.
when we are putting stuff out there like that, you know what I mean? Like when we say, well, we putting out what we want to give back. Not, baby, if I'm putting out, like you said, I love the homeless man story. If I'm putting out love that I want a home from a homeless man, I'm not getting a home back. He doesn't
Right.
have that to offer. And I need
Um,
people in dating or in being single to hear that. Stop offering your stuff to people looking for it to come back when they don't have the capacity to do. right? So that you won't be the same her again. I mean, like, oh no, not her again. Oh no, not him again. No, what we have to do, and Kay has specifically said it, what we got to do is run into yourself so that you can go, I won't do it again, right? We can't make this in what is it? External?
External.
Internal, what the EXIN, y'all know what I'm talking about. Don't make it somebody else. You have to really deal with yourself. Listen, sis. Ooh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Girl, you said I'm crazy. Crazy begots crazy. I so love you, sis. You come with it. I am so glad that you was a part of this. And
Thank you for having me.
This is just the beginning, girl. This is just the beginning. So, all right, we're gonna infuse this all up in here. You are a part of the Unbox family, and it was fun.
It was. I had a good time. Thank you.
All right, producer, come in here, and you're gonna have to put this all up in here because we got enough for you to do your thing, do your thing, do your thing, do your thing, do your thing.
You are stupid. I ain't watched the other show. Now, let me not be unprofessional. I'm sorry. You're hilarious, bro.
All day, ain't she? Ain't she?
She's hilarious.
You have been listening to Being Unboxed on the D.O.D. Radio Network. Best self, best life, best radio.